Welcome to the StockManor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockManor Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And a wild ride today in the markets. We had a gap down to start the day, a hard run up, and then a hard run back down at the end of the day. I don't know if any of you got caught up in the motion today. I hope some of you were maybe able to make a little bit of profit. But I mentioned this weekend that we could be in for a little bit of chop, and this is typically what we see at the end of what I consider to be a wave three, and that is a 1, 2. I think this is the end of wave three here. Actually, I think wave three may have ended down here. It's really early to tell yet. Once again, not a professional EW guy. So I'm still watching my technical analysis side and kind of making moves from there. We did get a break above this 10,250 area today, and this would have been a very defensive play to maybe try a little bit of a long right in this area above this 250 that we talked about. Did not last long. Bulls could not hold on to it, so it would have been a broken trade. You may have, if you moved your stops up, to a 1 or a 2 point gain, you might have broke even on it, made a little bit. Otherwise, you might have lost a little bit on it. But this is very choppy, and this is typical of what I consider to be a wave four action. 1, 2, 3 down here somewhere. I don't know. I think wave three either ended here or it ended here. Who knows? But we could be seeing some wave four action here. And I'm not convinced that we have finished this big wave down yet. In my own mind here. So for you Elliott wave people out there, I am not convinced that we don't have a wave 5 down, or that wave 5 to the downside has completed. This might be part of it here. Maybe we move back up to here and then roll over and make new lows. Who knows at this time? Really early to tell. But I'm not convinced that we don't have maybe a little bit more of a push down here before we see a little larger retracement for what would be, quote unquote, potentially wave two of this next push. Still no confirmation of that yet, so don't get ahead of yourselves when it comes to this Elliott wave idea. But you can see the move down here, and the bulls bringing it back up to touch what I have. I keep a 5-period moving average, so in this case, this is the 5-day moving average here in pink. Coming up to about to touch this level here, move back down. What we see here is a low base type of a formation that's forming here right now. Very, of course, contrary to what we saw over here, where we saw lots of high base formations before pushes through resistance. This same type of thing happens here, where we see low base formations happen before another push down. So I am still neutral to bearish, and will be for a little while yet, on my stance, and that means I am looking to play this to the downside on a break of these lower levels in the Dow and the other major indices. So very interesting that the bulls were able to get above this area, but not able to close it above this area, which has been the MO for a long time. The bulls have always been able to get above resistance and close above resistance. Not today. The bears were able to pull it all the way back down by the end of the day. So be watching this closely, because right now this looks like a potential low base formation. Neutral to bearish on the market. 60 minutes, same type of a thing. Lots of chop down in here. Oh man, it's so hard to play these type of moves, but this open had started right at support and catapulted itself up from there. Obviously, you saw the big move down at the end of the day. So if you were day trading, I hope you continue to move your stops up towards the end of the move. But you can see once again, bulls dragging it up. This time, the bears slapping their paws, or hooves, as the case might be, and dragging it back down. So we might be seeing a little bit of a change in the market sentiment in the short term here. Same look, move down, basing sideways. That is a low base formation. I am still watching for a break of these lower levels. On a weekly chart, you can see us still holding below this, but it's only Tuesday, so I won't make a big deal out of it for another couple days. SPX on a 60-minute, same type of thing, move down, choppy action. From a Elliott standpoint, we did make a lower low than this here, so this can count as maybe a wave 5. I'm not sure that it's wave 5 of this larger wave, or if it's just wave 5 of wave 3, which would make this which means there's still some downside to go. This is why I'm watching these lower levels. Break below 1089, I think confirms for me anyway that we still have a little bit more of a push down. Watch the 1085 area closely. That is heavy, heavy support down here. Maybe we see a push below it and increase selling. Maybe we see a push below it and a head fake to try to draw in some bears before dragging the market back up. So we see it drop below 1085 only to close the day back above 1085 in a hammer type of a formation. I would just caution you that 1085 should be very strong support when we get down to it. On the daily, same thing here, move down, basing sideways. This still looks like a low base formation until we break this 1105-ish area. I am still considering this to be a low base formation, which means some lower prices potentially ahead of us from a weekly standpoint. Sitting here on the 20-week moving average, but Tuesday, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to dabble in it. Look at the move down we had in the VIX all the way back here to this 23 area, which was a heavy level of support. And that's about the time the markets reversed. And you can see the big long tail it left by the end of the day as the markets and the fear started to come back into the markets towards the end of the day. So we'll see if that ends up being anything more over the next coming days. If we do see a push down in the market, especially a break below that 1085 mark, do not be surprised if you start to see this VIX start to spike again and maybe put another move up here towards the 29 or 30 area. I think 1085, like I said, is just going to be a strong area. Still a big move up last week, just basing sideways right now. So fear in the markets last week, kind of average to steady right now. I'm not going to worry too much about the VIX for the time being until we start to break these heavier levels up here, and that will mean a lot more fear in the markets than what we've seen in weeks and weeks and weeks. Over the past few months, even July was the last time. July area was the last time we really broke through this 30 area. Little bit here towards November, but it didn't last very long. Apple on a 60-minute up $2.87.